Is a certified hood classic.
I used to be in my feelings, then I turned up and got a spot. I can't say how much I made in that bitch, I just know it was a lot. I don't care no more if she love me for real, long as she love my knot. They say, Unc, you hitting them with too much drip. I know I got a mop. I put my flow in the microwave, I know I got to blow, now it's hot. I was way too far ahead of my time, I had to slow down and stop. Before I pull up to the honeycomb, I got to go round the block. Looking in blind spots for any nigga think he on the low trying to plot. Go ahead.
Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to Hankin TV, man. You feel what I'm saying? That's my boy. He put dope content over there.
What's up? What is your boy JT? If I say I done it, I did it. Tonight I got a guest for y'all, man. I got the owner of Beauty Babez Body Bar. She has a very interesting story. She's a business owner. Just to help the ladies. She also did 15 years in women's federal prison. So, you know, she out here to hope to spread a message, you know what I'm saying, to kind of uplift us. And also let y'all know about her product. So if you can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Helena Jones. I'm the owner of Beauty Babez Body Bar. And yeah, he said that I have done 15 years of federal prison, and whatever y'all want to know, just go.
You also have a YouTube channel also, don't you?
Yes, my YouTube is Beauty Babez TV, and all of my story times are on there. I am on all my social media platforms is Beauty Babez, on Instagram and YouTube, but on TikTok it's what do I got on TikTok? I think it's Beauty Babez too.
Shake your ass.
My YouTube, yeah, it's Beauty Babez _1982 because somebody had the other one. So yeah, all you got to do is click in Beauty Babez, and I should be able to be pulled up.
Okay, so where you from?
Florida.
Okay, that's where you grew. You grew up in Florida.
I grew up in Florida.
So how was it growing up in Florida for you?
Growing up in Florida, and I'm an 80s baby. So growing up in Florida, it was I'm a child of, my mom had 9 kids. I'm the 5th child, so I'm in the middle. So I got the good and the bad. It's 4 before me and 4 after me. So I got where we was po, and I got where we was like, you know, up and coming, doing better when things did get better. My mom was a part of the crack epidemic. She got really hit hard by that. So that was the struggle for my family, because my dad was like the rock of the family, and he's trying to like be the provider, make sure that she's okay. But when the drugs, you know, got that, you know, back then it was hard for a lot of people to not use those drugs, and the streets got her for a long time until she decided to come back around. So it left me to fend for myself. Basically, at 15 years old, I got pregnant with my son, and that's how it really started, because my first son's dad was in the streets, and I wasn't a part of the street life then. I'm just watching, but I'm picking up everything that he's doing. So that's how I ended up becoming a part of the street life.
Right. So when you say you had to fend for yourself, so when you was fending for yourself, I'm quite sure you had to take care of your siblings as well.
I did. I had to take care of 4 of my little baby brothers, because my 4 other siblings, they're older than me. So I had to take care of my 4 younger brothers. I was raising my sister's son, because she had went to prison. I was raising my other brother living in my house, and my own child at 18 years old, taking care of all of them.
Right. So what would you say, what were some of your first experiences when you stepped into the street life?
My first experience of stepping in the street life was women gonna hustle harder than men. That was one of the first experiences I had, because men are hustling for different reasons, and women are hustling for their own reasons. Women are hustling to like basically take care of their family, like they have kids. So when you can't make ends meet on your job, because I was working too. I was working as a CNA and an LPN, going to school still, but I still had a side hustle at night because I needed to make those ends meet. So, and my kids were spoiled. well, my son and my nephew, they were spoiled, so they used to having like all these things, and I couldn't do it, you know, by myself. So that's how I ended up hustling, and it started from like $30.
So being a female, so how did it end up doing 15 years? So how did you get so tied up in it?
Okay, so at the time I only had one child, and I met a guy in the club setting. He was like harassing me all that night. I don't know about, you know, this new school thing. Everybody meet each other on IG or this app or this app. But when I was growing up, you met most of the guys on most of the hustlers anyway, at the corner store or in the club or something like that. Because, you know, most of the street hustlers on the corner waiting for it to come up. And I met my other kid's dad in the club setting. And with him, the level of hustling was different because we're not from the same place. We don't know each other. We're from two different cities. So he don't know nothing about me. I know nothing about him. So to him, I'm a girl that's just going to work, coming back, and I don't know anything, you know? So we ran past like 2 or 3 times until the last time he was just like, I got to come see you. I got to come meet you, you know, like in full person. And when we met each other, it was over from there. He introduced me to what his lifestyle was, and his lifestyle was like elevated in the drug game compared to what I was doing. You know, I was like just meeting people here and there, giving, you know, doing this and doing that. But he was actually like 4-footed, like, you know, heavy in the game. And that's when he was trapping. He had people hustling for him on the streets. And I just fell into that lifestyle from already being a hustler in a whole nother way. It just fell in my lap. And I was just like a natural to it. I swear it was just like what he couldn't figure out, I could figure out. Or what he was strong in, I was, you know what I'm saying? It was like a balance in that case.
Right. So when you caught your time, when you caught your 15 years, did you catch it far as just being with him, or did you catch it far as from what you was doing?
I caught it for multiple reasons. Okay, so he was so heavy in the street, like the police was already set out for him before I even met him. Like before I even came into the picture, they was already, you know, when you got a name in the streets, automatically the police looking for you, or they watching you. So I was actually a silent partner in it. Like nobody knew who I was. I got superseded on his indictment. They didn't even know who I was until they picked him up. And we were married at the time, and they had no knowledge of me whatsoever. They had no idea who I was because they're so used to seeing so many females in and out around him and his friends and his crew that they never could pinpoint me, because he would, if I did something, I was always the driving or doing the big stuff. So I was never seen in the environments they were in. So when they came and picked him up, they didn't even know who I was. And when they realized who I was, they still were like, oh, you know, they was trying to salt him up. Oh, he's a bad guy. You shouldn't be with him. He's this, he's that. And in my mind, I'm like, okay. So I got superseded on his indictment 4 months later.
Wow.
And that's when they trying to figure out how is this operation. So they picked up all him and all my other co-defendants. So they're trying to figure out, okay, we take them down, the organization will go down. But what they didn't know, I was behind the organization already. So I was running it anyway. So they trying to figure out, how is this operation still running? And, you know, the streets or just regular people or the guy that told on me, and, you know, people that they'll just find and say whatever. And they started following me, following my cars. I put my cars up because, you know, back then fixed up cars was a thing to do. And I put my cars up, got in a rental car. They started following my rental cars. It was just like a whole big ordeal. Whatever it took to take him down and to take me down, that's what they was gonna do.
Right. So what happened on the day that they bust you?
Oh my God. The day that they bust me, I was home in the bed, and it was like 10 o'clock in the morning, and my dad was a big part of my life every step of the way. He passed now, but he's been a big step of, like, he's been like solid in my life, and I'm a true daddy's girl. So when my ex went to jail, my daddy moved in with me immediately because I'm a female, I'm by myself, I got these kids. He knew that I was gonna need somebody to help me. So So the day that I got arrested, they come boom, banging on the door, and I'm asleep because I didn't even get in till like 5 o'clock that morning. So I'm dead to the world. My daughter sleep on the side of me. My daddy got my other son in his hand, and they point a gun at my daddy's face. Where your daughter? Where your daughter? So they come. I could hear my daddy screaming my name, Helena, Helena, and I'm like, calling me. And when he screamed my name, people came in and was like, Miss Jones, you got to get up. And I got up. But what was crazy is they had subpoenaed me to testify in front of the grand jury like a month and a half before that. So the charge they arrested me on was obstruction of justice. That's my original charge. They said that I was tampering with a government witness. I didn't even know who the witness was, so how can I tamper with you? And then when it started coming out, like what was happening, I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know what I said. And when the pieces started coming out and coming down, I ended up finding out who it was and what it was. And it was just like, wait a minute. But that was just a charge for them to hold me on. Because at the same time that they busting me, they busting my traps. And when they busting my traps, my co-defendant, who ended up turning snitch and turning state or whatever they say, ended up telling the people that I was the one that was giving him all the drugs.
Right. So did you have to sit in county jail until your sentencing?
Yeah, I sat in the county jail for 383 days.
So what was going through your head that whole time?
Remind you, I'm a first-time felon. So my first experience of going to jail was this charge. So I didn't know what to expect, but I knew that I wasn't telling. I knew that I wasn't gonna say anything, basically. Like I knew my position, I knew my place, and that's what it was. And the whole time I'm in jail, and I went to trial. Remind you, I didn't just take a plea. We went to the door because my ex at the time, he already facing 30 years. Like he couldn't plea out to less than 30. So he hadn't been careered. So it's just like they had absolutely nothing. They had, if you could have seen my case, if you could have seen the judge in my trial, he was like, what is Miss Jones doing here? Because they literally had nothing against me, no nothing, just by what him and somebody else said that I did. So basically I got hit with the conspiracy like 3 months later after they arrested me on the obstruction charge. 3 months later, they came in and indicted me on the conspiracy and then dropped the obstruction.
So how did you feel when you got being a female, first time offender, knowing you got these kids and stuff and other life stuff going on? How did you feel when you got that time?
Oh, I was devastated. The year in the county jail actually humbled me. It humbled me because I had to take a seat back when I'm really the leader in my family. I had to take a seat back. Hold on one second. Hold on. Let me pause.
Wow, that's deep. I can only imagine how it is for a female. So I know how I felt as a man every time I got my time. But that's crazy when you can find women that's gonna stand taller than men are. You heard her. She say, "One thing I know I ain't telling." You already know, Mr. Old School Rider. I'm trying to get on your level, man. You need to have me back on the show for the update. I want to thank everybody for being patient. I know I kind of got started late. Working on a few things. Was waiting on my guest, and also I think I'm working on a video. I think I'm gonna drop some maybe Monday night about this YSL situation. That's crazy. I've been sitting back rewatching that $1 million worth of game interview with Thug Nim.
Okay, I'm back, y'all. My son I have a 5-year-old. So
that's fine.
So what was the question you was asking me?
Okay, I asked you like being a first time offender and a female at that, how did it feel when you got that time?
The year in the county jail actually humbled me because I already knew I wasn't going home. When I figured out who was telling and what was being said, I knew that I wasn't going home. I didn't know how much time because on my pre-sentencing report, because I took it to trial, it was like 24 years, 8 months. And I was just like, dang, I'm gonna be going over for my kids. But I knew that I couldn't do anything other than do what I did. My ex, he was like, tell them whatever they want to, whatever they want to hear, just for you to go home. Because he told me to cooperate against him. But how could I when I knew what it was? And what they wanted me to say had nothing to do with him. They already had his case solidified. They wanted me to tell on all, you know how feds work in so many different ways. They wanted me to tell, and I wasn't raised like that. I was raised on loyalty. So if you did it, you take the time. You do. If you did the crime, you do the time. All that telling, taking somebody else away from their family, that's not what it is. And it was hard. But when they ended up giving me the 15 years, my judge, the day that I got sentenced, the crack law came out. The ratio between crack and powder disparity was in retro. It wasn't retro yet, but they were sentencing new people under those guidelines. And the judge told me the day I sat in that courtroom, make sure you do an appeal, and I see you again, Ms. Jones. And I was just like, okay. I got sentenced in 2007, 2008. I was back in court on an appeal. The judge brought me back. I didn't even have to go through the steps of the how you go through the when you get your case seen by somebody else. I didn't have to do none of that. As soon as the judge seen it and he seen that it was a way for me to get some time off, he brought me back immediately. And they ended up giving me 120 months instead of 188 months because conspiracy has that minimum mandatory. He was trying to figure out a way for me to get out of there because he knew, like, he was like, I'm sentencing a woman that y'all did not prove she did anything just because I was his wife at the time. That's from what they saw, but I knew what I did, so I was fine with the time because I knew that I had played a part and a major part in this conspiracy.
Right. So what's some of the things that you've done in prison?
Soon as I got to prison, I started programming. In female prisons is different from what I hear from men's because it's not so many females as it is in, male prisons. Oh Lord. So I 1 second. These kids. I started programming immediately. And when I was programming, I took every course that I can think of. I signed up for the culinary program. I signed up to do AdVid. I signed up to do where you learn how to talk, public speaking. I did domestic violence because my ex was very abusive towards me. So I had to talk about that. I just had to open up in a different way. And then I ended up working at Unicore, and I ended up being like the head lead of Unicore because of my leadership skills. I ended up being like the head clerk over there. And I just always kept myself busy.
Right. So by you getting out on appeal, did you just get out, or you had like a release date or a day you don't get out?
I had a release date because I hadn't even been to prison for a year and a half. I had just I was in jail like maybe 2 years. So I still had to do the 6 years. So I got out in 2014.
Right. So we already know you're a hustler. So what did you do when you got out?
So listen, I had to go to the halfway house for 9 months. And everybody was like ready to go home. And I'm like, nah, it ain't gonna make no sense for me to go home because I'm gonna have to pay bills, get a place for my kids. Cause I came home to nothing because they had done took everything. So I came home with the money that I had in my account and, people helping me on the street. So I was like, no, I ain't going home because I only got to pay them a percentage of what I made, basically. So I stayed in the halfway house for the 9 months and saved my money up. So I got out. And I worked 2 jobs in there. I worked as a breakfast attendant and I worked at Frito-Lay.
So how did you start the Beauty Babes?
My son had eczema really bad, and I got tired of like sending him to the doctor, trying to give him all these creams. And I'm like, what can I do to stop them from breaking out really bad, or to make the skincare line better than the skincare products that they have right now. And I can remember my grandma saying, make it, make it. You know how to make it, because we never had broke out when we was growing up. We always had a remedy for something. And that's what I started doing.
Right. Somebody want to know, like, where was your kids at while you was gone?
My mom and my sisters had my kids while I was gone.
So by you making that cream for your son, did you think it was gonna become a full-fledged business?
No, I didn't. I was doing it for like probably 6 months before I decided to launch it, because you have to go to trial and error. So I had started getting the business part right, like the LLC, the, ingredients to make sure that I could sell it online or whatever. And I didn't even know it was going to take off. Like, I have sent orders to Australia. I done sent to Paris. I done sent them everywhere. I did not think that it was going to be that big. Like, you could find me on Amazon. Like, I definitely did not think it was going to take off the way that it did.
Right. So so what advice would you have for other females, especially our younger females, who feel like they gotta do some illegal things to survive or provide for the family?
What I'm gonna say is, because it's gonna happen, because you a product of your environment. I mean, people be like, oh, this is not gonna happen. You're a product of your environment. You don't know what situation or what may cause you to do anything. And what I will say is, just be smart. Just be smart about it. I had so much money running through my fingers, and I wasn't smart about it, to where a lot of stuff slipped through my fingers, to where now it took me to go to prison to even learn money management skills, how to put myself in a position to not have to worry about nobody else to take care of me. So once you're doing things like that, always be smart about it. Don't just be out here doing it just for designer clothes or for the latest hairstyles or to look good on social media, because when it all said and done, when something happened, nobody gonna be there. I had 1,000 friends before I went to prison. I came home with none. The whole time I was in there, nobody sent me no money but my family. Like, that's how serious it is. You get forgotten very, very easily, no matter what you do.
Right. If you could go back and do it again, would you change anything?
Not at all. The only thing I would change is who had my kids. And that might seem crazy, because I should have sent them with their dad's parents, because it was a struggle even for me to even be in there with my family trying to take care of them.
Yeah, my saying is, I did 10 years, and people ask me if I go back and change anything, would I say no, because it made me into the person I am today.
I'm telling you, like, I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change. When I say anything, I wouldn't change anything, because all those trials and everything that I had to go through, I needed to go through those things. I had to be, because I was always helping everybody else, taking care of everybody else, doing this. But when you sit back, who was going to take care of me? God had to show me and to reveal to me, you doing all these for all these people, but when you need them, what they going to be?
Right. Is any advice you would give anybody trying to start a business?
Start it. Don't be scared. Just start it, because you never know where it's going to take you. Just start it. I had people order my products in other countries by accident, and that accident turned into long-time customers. Like, every single month, I know that revenue is going to come into my account. So you never know. And the best advice is word of mouth, social media. You have to use the tools that we have every day, because every day is changing. So business is changing. So when you see something changing, I didn't want to get on TikTok. I didn't know nothing about TikTok, but I knew that was a platform I needed to be on, because everybody else was going to it and gravitating towards it. So you have to just change with the times and to just start the business. Just start it.
Right. I want to tell everybody, if you can, go ahead over there and subscribe to Beauty Babez TV. Tell us about this YouTube channel.
So my YouTube channel is about everything. It's about soap making, product making, current events, social media affairs, social media drama, my own personal stories, day in the life with me. It's about everything. It's about everything. And I'm gonna keep it real and raw. If you want to know what's going on and you want my opinion about what's going on, come on over to Beauty Babez TV because I'm gonna tell it. Like the YSL thing, I got all like I can tell how that's gonna transpire by just watching it on social media. I told on my last video, if y'all go watch it, I told Young Thug, take the plea because they're gonna tell on you. Just take the plea.
Definitely gonna tell on him.
Just take the plea because they trying to bring everything and pile it upon you. Just take the plea because them ninjas is telling.
They telling. So what's your social medias?
My Instagram is Beauty Babez 20. My Instagram, well, did I say? Yeah, my Instagram is Beauty Babez 20. My TikTok is Beauty Babez _1982, and my YouTube is Beauty Babez TV.
Do you have a website?
My website is beautybabez20.com.
And they can come through there. That's where they can come and get the product at.
Yes, they can.
Okay, I appreciate you coming through. I loved hearing your story.
Thank
like
you.
said,
It took me so long because I was on vacation and then I got this baby. Oh my God. But thank you for having me. If you ever want to come, you know, I'm open arms to all of it. If you ever need me to come back and help you with anything, I'm open to it at any time.
You already know. Okay, thanks for coming through, and I hope you get you some subscribers over there, and I hope you get you some new customers.
Thank you. See y'all.
Okay. All right, y'all. That was Beauty Babez Body Bar. Go over there and check her out. You know what I'm saying? Get a female's aspect of what it's like behind them bars. Check out her product. Like I said, I'm thinking about Monday dropping my dropping some of this YSL situation. That YSL situation is crazy. Like I was saying before, I was just rewatching the $1 million worth of game interview where they had all of them in there. And who would think here a thug in there doing that interview with all his homeboys, and all of them that was behind him was going to end up ratting. But this is the question though. First, let me say, can't nobody say what they gonna do until they in a situation. Some people's talking about, oh man, I wouldn't tell. You can't say it until you in that position, man. You know what I'm saying? I just seen a day where two dudes turned down the plea. They turned down the plea to tell, get out, get probation, and one of them, his maximum sentence is 50 years, and he turned it down. It's a tough situation, man. That's what made me think about just go ahead and give my little perspective on it. So yeah, be looking out Monday, man. I might go ahead and drop that YSL video. So be checking the community tab and checking on social media. Don't forget to go through there and check out Beauty Babez and subscribe to her YouTube channel. What else I got coming up? I don't think I got no interviews coming up this coming week. So yeah, I might go ahead and drop the YSL thing. But if I do remember and come up with something, man, like I said, just check the community post, man, and be looking on social media. I want to thank everybody for coming through, man. If you ain't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Smash that like button. And make sure y'all follow me on all social media platforms at Hankin TV. Go looking out, Yo Swift. I appreciate it. But yeah, be looking for me Monday, man. I think I am. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go back and just do some more research. Finish watching that $1 million worth of game interview. Watch some more of them court proceedings. I'm going to go ahead and put something together because that's a sticky situation right there, man. But let me also say this, in a situation like that, man, that's crazy. But just be looking out for the video Monday, man. I'm going to holler at y'all. Thanks for coming through.